Oh, and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Age 2. We're just gonna keep on going in the deep roads after we learn a little bit more about them. Just a little bit. We left off here and we didn't do the smart thing, bring Sandal with us. Like, this would be no problem right here if Sandal's with us. Instead, we gotta deal with all this slow and ponderous combat. And the enemies still spawning behind us. Now, I said before I made a couple mistakes in my party here. One, bringing Isabella. A little bit of a bad idea. If you notice, she just died really fast. It's mainly because I've taken 2 rogues, 1 mage, and a warrior is bad. Probably bringing Fenris or Aveline would have been better. But hindsight. And another thing is the fact that Isabella has a skill that puts an area of enemies into stun, where the loading screens hints can actually tell you that when an enemy is stunned and comes unstunned, will change its targets, which is annoying, but it happens. And just want to pick up whatever resources we can here, because a lot of these places we will end up seeing, and any of the stuff we miss can be bought at the Black Emporium for a price. I really don't want to pay that price. May the Black Wolf take And if you're not careful, getting turned around in this area isn't difficult. The walls look the same, and there's no real way except dead bodies to mark your progress. And we see something new out of the ogre here. If an ogre ends up ramming into the wall, it will get stuck. Its horns will bury itself in the wall and you get some free damage on it. Makes it a lot easier than the first ogre. And while these traps are an inconvenience otherwise,
now that's just rude. What are they trying to do?
This is how you're supposed to disarm the traps when it actually works and you don't end up stepping on them.
Left a surprise here for us.
And we see right across the way up here, it looks a little bit familiar because that is the first area we ended up turning at. Let's make a little loop around. Still haven't actually seen the cave-in they're talking about, really.
Piece of cake.
A large open area means one large enemy. And this would be the second dragon we face because the optional one we did in the mines, bone pit area. It works the exact same way, except it actually calls more it calls more things to its aid. And Isabella is down, which is not good, seeing as she was the one dealing the most damage. And you are able to see a couple of weird interactions with how some of the attacks work, where even though we are facing away and running away from the enemy, because of how the knockback on one of the dragon's AoEs work, we were knocked closer to it, because that was backwards from where we were. Did I mention dragons hit hard? Because they do. If you don't notice, I've just kind of had to run around for a while. And this does give me a chance to see that when someone falls down and gets back up, they do get the injury, which gets rid of it, the injury kit. But multiple injuries do stack. So you can have someone with up to 75% of their health not available, if I remember correctly. That's not good.
Here we go. This goes right where we want it to. Let's go back and tell Bartrand. He'll be so pleased. Bartrand, we found a way around your damned cave-in.
It's about time. Let's move out! Holy shit.
Is this what you were expecting?
I thought. An abandoned dyke, something old, but... what is this?
How did you even know it was here?
Old scavenger tales. After the third blight. A week below the surface, they said. But nobody believed them.
Looks like they were right.
Make camp here! We need to look around.
Yep. This is what we were looking for this whole time. A pretty nice looking place. Well, despite all the rocks, destroyed architecture and things of that, looks nice. And I'm just gonna buy what few potions Bowden has and continue forwards.
Whatever's through there, it seems still intact. Think we'll find anything?
Bartrand is far more enthralled with this place than you are.
Unlike him, I wasn't born in Orzammar. I wouldn't even be down here if there wasn't profit in it. This entire place gives me the chills. Let's hope it's worth it.
If we don't find something useful, this entire expedition has been for nothing.
I suppose we'll need to go down there to find out.
Yep. That is our destination. The doorway down there. With crystalline vines that look a bit like lyrium, but are red. Which doesn't happen in lyrium. This will actually happen periodically throughout the deep roads. If you can tell with the golem guarding a treasure chest, the treasure chest would be locked otherwise because the golem is in front of it. And as I said before, a lot of the chests hold really nice things. And this is one of the last ingredients that we can actually find. It's used in quite a lot of the higher end things, so it's pretty useful. And this looks like some inner sanctuary.
You see what I'm seeing?
Is that lyrium? Who cares? It's shiny.
Doesn't look like any kind of lyrium I've ever seen. Look at this, Bartrand. An idol made out of pure lyrium, I think. Could be worth a fortune.
You could be right. Excellent find.
And for those of you not in the know or have forgotten from when we did the Black Powder Promise, lyrium in its raw form is explosive. Had Bartrand not caught that idol, we probably all would have died. Also, a sweet slide by ourselves down the stairs.
You always did notice everything, Varric.
Are you joking? You're going to screw over your own brother for a lousy idol?
It's not just the idol. The location of this tag alone is worth a fortune, and I'm not splitting that 3 ways.
Yep.
Sorry, brother.
Bartrand! Bartrand!
Betrayed.
I swear I will find that son of a bitch. Sorry, Mother, and I will kill him. Oh, let's hope there's a way out of here.
Oh, but there is Varric. There's a doorway. Where we get into a bit of a scrap here. And you can see the usefulness of the AoE spells that both Varric and Meryl use to clear out the shades. The only issue is another wave of shades. And this is the biggest issue with the Dragon Age combat, at least in this one, is the waves of enemies, which will cause the CPU to use the skills that you have assigned them to use through their tactics menu. And then there's a second wave. It's constantly something that pops up, and there's no way to fix it unless you are using TACCAM for everything. efforts, we get a couple of good items out of these chests. You can end up hopping those on the people who need them. And we are quite a ways
Now you fall.
past where we were. And getting a little bit stuck behind party members.
Now you fall. There.
And when I said a few videos back, we didn't have any new enemy types, it's a bit of a lie because these guys show up here, though they only show up in this section of the Deep Roads.
Bloody flames, what were those things?
Otherwise, it's Hurlocks, Genlocks, are DLC only. But it's just Darkspawn the rest of the way through.
We're good to go.
We'll just open this chest to allow ourselves to deal with this as needed down the hallway. The new enemy type that we are facing here, the Profane, they are what haven't actually been mentioned, but are rock wraiths, which is basically living stones, more like golems almost, except magic. We get a little bit better of an explanation of what they are soon. But we don't get like the best of explanations. Essentially, they live by feeding off of the lyrium and stones around here.
Enough.
Oh,
You have proven your mettle. I would not see these creatures harmed without need.
We're defending ourselves. Keep your distance.
They will not assault you further, not without my permission.
What are these things? They seem like rock wraiths, but
They hunger. The profane have lingered in this place for ages, beyond memory, feeding on the magic stones until the need is all they know.
They eat the lyrium.
I am not as they are. I am a visitor.
It is a hunger demon, drawn here by their need.
I would not see my feast end. I sense your desire. You seek to leave this place, but you will need my aid to do so.
he is
There's nothing
worded this all terribly wrong for our hawk.
what are our options?
We don't need
Why do we need your aid?
him to do anything.
There is another door that leads into the paths far above us.
We just need
What you see.
a lot of things to hit.
It has been sealed, however.
We will eventually
and
come
cannot be
onto the
opened.
exit that way.
I know where the key is. Do as I ask, and I shall tell you.
Aha! You see? I knew there'd be a catch.
So what do you think?
We kill them all and find our own way out.
See,
Most unwise.
that's what we do. Gets us a bit of rivalry with Merrill, which is fine. But yeah, the Profane are tough. Mainly because they have ranged attacks that hurt a lot. And they like to use those ranged attacks, even in melee. Luckily, stunning them helps out a lot.
Loot the body.
But the only real difference here of whether we accepted the demon's help or not is what we'd get when we ended up heading out. Because he does know where the key is, and we will find the key whether we take his help or not. But if we accept his help and his deal,
Now you fall. Got you.
we end up having a little bit of a problem in that we're not able to get everything we want,
Seems to be unhealthy.
which is treasure. He kind of stops us from getting most of the treasure.
What is this place?
This is the vault. The dwarves would have brought their... That can't be good.
Yeah. Here is the boss fight for what essentially is the capstone of Act 1. Has a couple different attacks. We'll do this periodically. That causes a fair bit of damage and then summons some of the primeval enemies to just be up and about. Though this is the time you really want to wail on him because he has no defenses. But you also want to be careful because the other enemies really hurt. The way you dodge this attack is obvious. You stand behind the pillars, it doesn't hit you. He has another couple attacks where he ends up doing a small burst around himself and then uh-oh. Well, that's not supposed to happen. This is... well... guess we'll try again later. See you then.